All right, people. So I'm here with you, 2016 Hell in the Cell review. Let's just get right into the review here. So we have Reigns defeating Rusev to begin the show. I mean, this match was an okay match. It could have been better, um, but I mean, they just keep pushing Reigns to the fucking moon. I mean, it's ridiculous. Every big match, it seems like he wins. I mean, they've been forced to take him out of the main event because nobody at all likes him. So they put him in this pointless U.S. title feud and people still hate him. They're trying everything to get him over, and it's just a total failure. I mean, he is a total failure. And if you look at Roman Reigns, I mean, that really just sums up WWE in a nutshell right there. Is the failure of Roman Reigns is equivalent, or is it's like a small example of the failure of WWE. So I mean, this match was okay. It could have been better. I mean, there wasn't the problem I had with this match is there wasn't any spots where you really go like, oh, holy shit, that was something that was really hardcore or extreme, which I mean you should see in Hell in the Cell matches. I mean there was a lot of like small, okay, decent spots that you're like, oh, that's a pretty good spot. I mean, but there weren't any like great mark out moment spots. I didn't think so. I'm not going to say this was a good match, but I'm not going to say it was shitty either because there was still some, like I said, some decent spots in there. It was 24 minutes and 50 seconds long. I gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars. So I mean, and the other point of this match is nobody gives a shit about it. I know I don't. Who cares if Rusev, a talentless motherfucker, has the belt, or Reigns, a probably more talentless motherfucker, has the belt? I don't give a shit. So there's no enthusiasm to watch this match or to care about it. Then we have Bailey defeating Dana Brooke in just a boring ass pointless match. I mean, this match is not pay per view worthy. I don't know why they just throw this shit in front of our faces and expect us to take it. It's like if you go to a 5-star restaurant and they are fucking feeding you McDonald's chicken fingers, you're not going to be happy. I mean, this is, you're paying money for this shit. This is supposed to be the best of the best, and the best they could come up with is Bailey versus Dana Brooke. I mean, if you're going to put shit like this on the pay per view every month, you might as well just shorten the pay per view to like 2 hours because I don't want to pay to see this extra shit like Bailey versus Dana Brooke or Anderson and Gallows versus Enzo and Cass. So this match I gave 1 star out of 5. It was 6 minutes and 30 seconds long, just a waste of time match. And like I said, this was another waste of time match. Anderson and Gallows defeats Enzo and Cass in a match that I gave a half-star out of 5. Another boring match, pretty much the same length as the Divas at 6 minutes and 50 seconds. Again, I don't care. This was pretty much the exact same as the Divas match, except obviously with men. I mean, it sucked. It was boring. It was pointless. And like I said, get these matches out of here. These are not pay per view worthy matches. They basically just threw two tag teams together and said, "Hey, let's create a feud here to fill some spots on our next pay per view." I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, they should really fucking put some effort into every fucking feud they make instead of half-assing it all the time. Then we have Owens defeating Rollins. I thought this was a good match, not a great match. I'm sure a lot of fucking people are, oh, great match because it's Owens and Rollins. No, I thought it was a good match. The thing that set this apart from Reigns and the Reigns and Rusev match was there were some like spots that were like, oh, holy shit, that was cool. Like I thought the Owens going through 2 tables was a holy shit spot, and then also I liked the power bomb through the 2 chairs. That was pretty cool. So I gave it 3, and also Jericho got involved too. Owens puts the fire, sprays the fire extinguisher on the ref, which was kind of funny. I'm not really too fun, but the point is Jericho got involved. They were opening the door to get the ref out, and Jericho comes down, so that added an extra element to this. I just really would have liked them to have a better way of getting Jericho in, like a more crafty way to get Jericho into the cell. I mean, just opening the cell door to take the ref out. I mean, I still like the aspect of him getting involved, but it just seemed too easy. I would have preferred, a more intricate plan to get him inside the cell. But nonetheless, a good match. 23 minutes and 10 seconds long. So I gave it 3.25 out of 5 stars. Then we have Brian Kendrick defeating Perkins, and I didn't think this match was too good. I thought it was mediocre. I mean, it seems like with these cruiserweight matches, they're just fucking like they're not letting him wrestle the cruiserweight style. I mean, I think they're telling them to go out there and wrestle. Well, you got to wrestle the WWE style, guys. You know, you can't be too crazy. You can't do too many good spots. You gotta, keep it down low. You gotta calm down. I mean, I give it 2 out of 5 stars. Kendrick wins. I mean, we've seen that spot before where somebody fakes an injury, and then so it wasn't really that good of an ending. I thought they could have done something better, thought of something unique or some shit, but instead they just pull out a generic finish, pretty much a typical heel finish, which like I said, which we've seen before. It's pretty fucking wrestling 101 right there. So yeah, I gave it 2 out of 5 stars, and it would have been much better too if they would have expounded on the storyline a little bit more. And I know they talked about it a little bit, how they're both friends, and Brian Kendrick needs this and he wants him to lay down. But I would have preferred them to do more than just some backstage segments. I would have loved them to do like actual promos in the ring. I mean, you might as well. You have plenty of motherfucking time, or do we have to get in matches like Goldust versus Goldust versus one of the shining stars or whatever the fuck kind of matches they come up with on Raw that nobody gives a shit about. So I mean, they really got to get their priorities straight. Do they want to actually create some cool storylines going on in the cruiserweight division? Give them some promo time, or is it more important to trot out Goldust and R-Truth, and the shitty stars and Mark Henry and shit like that? So that match was 10 minutes and 30 seconds long, by the way. And I was happy they gave this longer time. But I would have preferred another 5 minutes, actually would have been ideal. But I mean, I'm not happy with them on Raw. They're giving it like 5 minutes on Raw with these matches, and it's ridiculous. Then we have the New Day and Cesaro and Sheamus ending in a disqualification. Thought it was a mediocre match here. The ending really sucked too. I mean, a very anticlimactic ending with a disqualification there at the end. So I wasn't happy about that. So I gave it 1.5 out of 5 stars. I mean, a little better than your typical WWE tag team match, but that's not saying much. So, yeah, not that good a match here. It was 11 minutes and 20 seconds long. So, like I said, was not too happy with that one. And then we go on to your main event where we have Charlotte defeating Sasha. First off, the match was 22 minutes long, and they also did some shit beforehand, so I'm glad they gave it a significant amount of time. And I'm glad they gave all the Hell in the Cells a significant amount of time. And this was, I gotta say, guys, I mean, some people might bash me or whatever. I don't know what people have been saying about this, but I really thought it was a great match because a lot of this shit we saw in here we haven't seen before. I mean, you had Charlotte powerbombing Sasha through a table. That looked pretty fucking brutal. I mean, sure, you had some spots in there that, were probably, were botched, like the table spot. I assume Charlotte was supposed to go through that table, but she, like, half broke it or something. I don't know what the fuck they were planning, but that definitely didn't go as planned. So, I mean, no, it was not a perfect match. That's why I'm not giving it 5 stars. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 stars, but I'm just happy because we've seen some shit in here. We have not seen a Hell in the Cell, and they definitely came through with some good spots. I mean, there was some spots in there that were actually pretty brutal. So I'm not complaining about this match. I'm not going to complain about it. Like I said, 4 out of 5 stars. I mean, they had the element too where Charlotte puts Sasha through the table before the match even begins. So, Charlotte's or Sasha's hurt to begin with, and I thought she sold that really well. Like, you're thinking, well, is she really hurt? Because, I mean, divas, we rarely see them go through tables, so you're thinking, well, Sasha's a pretty small girl. She might actually really be hurt, and I thought she was selling it well. I was looking at her facial expressions, like, damn, that looked, it looked brutal. So, I mean, I thought this was a good match, a really good match, a great match. I enjoyed it. However, I would not have preferred it to go on last as your main event because I still think the WWE Championship or the Universal title, whatever dumbass name they call it, has more prestige, should go over the Divas title, because the Divas aren't the main part of the show. And they clearly, Owens and Rollins is the main feud. I mean, that's, again, it's the main title feud. So, but there you go, people. And now your time statistics here. You had no matches 0 to 5 minutes long, which is great. I mean, I was very happy about that. No jobber matches, no waste of time I mean, you had some waste of time, but at least they weren't 2 minute matches. You had 2 matches that were 5 to 10 minutes, 2 matches that were 10 to 15, and 3 that were 20 to 25. So I was happy that, again, that they gave the Hell in the Cell matches, a good amount of time. Especially the Divas. I was worried about that they might fuck that up, but they actually came through, and that was, like I said, I very much enjoyed that. So you had an hour and 45 minutes and 10 seconds of wrestling. That equates to 15 minutes per match, so a good amount of time. I would have just preferred, again, either get that shit, get the fucking, like, shit matches out of here, like Dana Brooke versus Bayley. Nobody cares about that shit. Your shortest match was 6 minutes and 30 seconds, and your longest was 24 minutes and 50 seconds. So, there you go, people. There's your Hell in the Cell review. I mean, I guess it was maybe an okay at best show. I mean, it wasn't the greatest show. It could have been better. I mean, there was really a good match between Owens and Rollins, and a great match between Charlotte and Sasha. Other than that, nothing was really too good on this show. So, but there you go, people. There's your Hell in the Cell review. So, there you go.